What's up, guys? We're driving to the gym, and just yesterday, I was looking at some old Google Word documents that I had on my computer. And rather, they were in the cloud, but I was just reading some of this old stuff that I wrote, and there were a couple of really interesting things. And the first was just like the first third of a children's book that I was writing. It was just a kind of funny idea I had at one point, and I thought, like, okay, that would be a fun children's book to write. So I got through the first third, and then I stopped on it. And I'm thinking about finishing that because I could really realistically do that over the course of a month or two. I could finish that, and I think it would be fun to have that book published. So I might do that. I might finish it. It's kind of a parody of The Sword and the Stone and like Legend of King Arthur. I won't reveal anything about it. I'll see if I finish it, and if I do, you guys will be the first to know. So I found that was fun, just to read that and see what I was writing. Like, I mean, this was like 4 or 5 years ago. I just looked in this old folder in my Google Drive and found, these old writings. And another thing that I found was, it wasn't really a journal. I remember why I wrote it. It was because I listened to, I think, Tony Robbins, and he said that you needed to write down what you were doing in your life, like how you felt you were doing in some key areas, and then write down, what your rituals are that got you into this situation, whatever situation, good or bad, and then write down what you'd like your life to look like, and write down new rituals that you think would get you to that place. And obviously, if you are where you want to be, then you wouldn't necessarily need any change. But I was reading it, and I mean, I don't remember life seeming so glum, but it was very negative writing that I had about where I was at in life. And I mean, 5 years ago, I guess things were a lot different, but I don't even remember what it was like, if that's what I was writing down at the time. I mean, I remember, events and things that happened and generally how I felt. But I guess, I mean, there's just a lot that you forget over the course of 5 years. And, it really makes me glad that I am constantly keeping records of what's going on. Like, these videos are a good one. These are actually great because not only do these capture, what I'm thinking, which you can kind of do by writing stuff down, but this is a much more free-flowing capture. It's, that those things that I wrote, they were like not super professionally well written, but they were well written. It wasn't just like ramblings. Like, it wasn't what I was just writing down verbatim. I obviously, having read it, edited it, and was thinking a bit about what I wanted to say when I, typed all of that out. This, on the other hand, is very raw. So I'm glad to have this. I'm glad that I also keep a journal, where I do just, once a week, every Monday, actually, I write in a journal in the morning, and it's not long. It's a small journal book, and I only fill out about a page in that each time. And it's really not much, but it's just good to have like a weekly check-in almost with myself, and write down, what I'm thinking, what I want to do. Sometimes I write down just what I did that past week, just so that there's like a written record of like, what was I up to? And from time to time, I have looked back at that journal and just read like, okay, what was I up to 2 years ago? I wasn't actually keeping it I wasn't being as rigorous with the journal keeping over the past couple of years. I started that maybe like 4 years ago also. I think during COVID at one point. Maybe before COVID, actually. It was a little before COVID, I think, when I very first began journaling at all. And I was doing it pretty religiously every day, I think, for a while. And then I kind of fell off during COVID just because there wasn't much to do. I just wasn't feeling like it. And now I'm back into it. I got back into it, several months ago. And I've just been doing once a week. I'll write down in the journal. And then once at the beginning, like the first day of each month, I also like to write just a journal entry about what I want to accomplish and look back on the entry from the month prior and see, did I accomplish what I wanted to accomplish? Oftentimes, the answer is no. Sadly, the answer is oftentimes no. But every month, I still write down some goals that I've got and write down, how I might go about accomplishing those things. And at least I'm starting the month off with the mindset of trying to get some things done. And oftentimes I will accomplish, I'll accomplish usually a couple of the things. I write down several things that I would like to do, and then some of them get finished, some don't. And that's just life, you can't do everything all the time. Some months I get everything done, but not frequently. But at the very least, I'm glad that I have these records just because it really was fun reading what I'd written years ago. And it was interesting just to see that that's where my head was at. And I mean, this was pretty well written stuff. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but it was well written. I don't know. I was reading, I was like, yeah, this sounds pretty good. Like, it sounded professional. Not necessarily the thing I was writing about myself, but there were some other things. There were so many beginnings, like first couple pages of books. And some of them were kind of ridiculous, but some of them were kind of good. Like, there was one about, it was just a book about how to think logically about things and some tricks to do that. I guess you could call them tricks. But there were a bunch of books. Like, one was just about all the flaws of government. And it was almost like a treatise that I was writing. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff, but I'm glad that I wrote all that down. I really haven't been writing a ton in that way lately, which is why I'm excited to start writing that kids book again. I think that'll be fun, just to kind of, have a completed work that is publishable, and that's, the least serious thing that I could take on right now. So I think that's the one to do. The one that, there's no pressure. Like, it's a kid's book. If it's bad, then it's bad. It's not like I'm trying to inform anyone of anything. It's just like, I think it would be entertaining for kids. So I'm going to finish that one. And I'm looking forward to having that done. I'm looking forward to, honestly, I'm not hugely looking forward to the actual writing process. That's something that I've never enjoyed a ton, but I really enjoy having the finished product. And being able to look back on, what I was thinking and what I did. These video recordings, I do enjoy. I enjoy these so much more than I enjoy, like, just sitting and writing, because, I don't know, it's just so, it's more thinking than acting. Or I shouldn't say acting, but just existing. Like, these video recordings are just me existing, and I just parked. So that will be it for the day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.